And here we go. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of A Flawed Man of God. My name is Stuart Davis. I am a deacon at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a biblical scholar. I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about Jesus, talk about things about being a Christian, giving you insights and just little bit tidbits if you are curious about joining Christianity, becoming a Christian. If you're interested at all in Jesus, please welcome to the program. Tune in and get what you can out of me, a layman. I'm a non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word every day. So what I'm trying to do is give you kind of a look at somebody you might run into if you go into a church. We're not all a bunch of folks who are very uppity. We're not overly judgmental. At least we shouldn't be. And we should be welcoming. We should be part of a community. But at the same time, holding fast to the principles that Jesus Christ laid out for us in the Bible. And here we are tonight. If you are also interested in just listening to Christian topics and Christian discussion on issues that are within and without the church, here we go. Here we go. This is the place. This is the place. As you saw yesterday, with a little bit of discussion about Rick Warren, and I felt like that was a really good. I felt like that was a really good episode. I felt like Monday was really just kind of, not to say the topic was low. It's just my delivery was not my best. I felt like I felt a little flat on it, and And I think that yesterday's I was really on point. I was really rolling, and I felt like I kind of redeemed myself from Monday's kind of meh performance. So we'll see. Chat's open. The chat is open. Nico is first. Nico, look, I want to let you know this. If you're ever not first, I might send for a wellness check on you just to see how you're doing. And I appreciate you tuning in every day, even if it's just to tell everybody you were first. Wild Weeb's in the chat. He didn't miss tonight. Porcupine Mayhem's here early again. Just a heads up. Super stoked, chat. My wife and I purchased a bus to renovate into a schoolie RV. I've seen things like that before. I'm very interested to see what the final product is. Is it a full-size school bus like the big yellow ones? That's plenty of room. That's plenty of room. And that's awesome. That's awesome because look, so much of what you buy in an RV is plastic. It's plastic and sheet metal. There isn't a whole lot of difference. Just out of curiosity's sake, because I work around a lot of trucks. What brand is the bus? Is it a Bluebird? Is it an International? Is it a Freightliner? I'm just curious. Oh, flat face. Great. That's the best. That's the best because to me, I feel like the turning is better, but also the visibility. The visibility is great. So Wild says Nico is always first, probably in bed too. He's not in bed because he's commenting right here. He said, if I'm not first, I'm probably in a better place. Evening, everybody. Woohoo! Bluebird. Oh yeah, Porcupine. Are you doing this? Are you doing the reno into an RV yourself, or are you doing it in? Are you having another company do it? I like that thing, but like you see this, and this is why I like involving the chat in off-topic discussions because, like I said, when we talk about this kind of stuff, I want the feeling for this presentation of this project to be very much, very very similar to what you would find out if you went into a Wednesday night small group or a Sunday school where everybody's kind of together. Usually you start off, bringing everybody in and just talking about how their day's been going and what's going on in their lives. So look, guys, if y'all want to talk about how y'all are doing, That's very welcome here. Stuff like this is great. It builds, to me, it builds community and knowledge about each other. So yeah, this is good stuff. So if you just want to get into the meat of things, maybe just fast forward. I don't know. This is how, but we care about things. We care about each other. Oh, tonight, if you're wondering, I'm drinking Cayman Jack. It is one of the few things out there. They calls it a cocktail, but some of the stuff you buy at the store that I like, it's the Cuban mojito. I do like Cayman Jack a lot. So, Porcupine Mayhem, you're doing it yourself. Awesome. Wish you the best. Like I said, and I think we've run into I think you and I converse some on Twitter. Definitely show me the end result, because I love seeing those projects come all together. So, all right. Well, we have left behind the Pentateuch, and we have left behind Moses. We've left him behind. That's part of the whole thing. We're not talking about the Left Behind series. We're talking about just left him behind because he is not allowed into the Promised Land yet. As Nerneev rightfully pointed out the other day, Moses has to watch, and I guarantee you, Moses is standing on that mountaintop going, I don't have to deal with these dudes anymore. Sorry about your luck, Joshua. You've got a monumental task ahead of you. You are an awesome dude, and I'm thankful for you to be my adjutant. But these guys are a handful. These guys are a handful. And Joshua probably has a very, very good idea of what he's getting into. So Joshua's a pretty good dude. He gets his own book, where he basically just gets to work on things. And that's one of the things. If you look, the idle mind is a devil's workshop might be a very big truism when it comes to the Israelites, because when they're working and their minds are done on stuff, they can be very righteous and very very on task and very focused on what God wants them to do. I feel like it comes to when they're sitting around looking for women. That's when the problems start. That's when they go to the Canaanites and do all that dumb stuff. That's when they start making idols. Look, they were grumbling when they were going through the wilderness, but they really when they really started going sideways was when Moses left them alone to their own devices, just kind of hang out at the base of Sinai while he went up there to hang out with God. What do we see them doing? Well, they'll continue to do that because that's what a lot of the Israelites do. Cayman Jack should give me some money. They should give me some money for promoting it to the 4 people in the chat right now. I feel like the Allstate commercial, the Mayhem, is it Allstate? Allstate Mayhem commercial where he goes, this is going to get tens of views. That's what I feel like. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm just saying, I'm just making fun of myself. All right, let's share the screen. We're going to start talking about Joshua. And one of the things I did while I had some time today between work, still got my calculator up. That was from actually what I'm about to talk about. While I had some time in between work and starting this stream, since the kiddos are already at VBS, I went ahead and created the playlists for Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy on the playlist for the channel. So if you ever want to go back and go through these streams, that's the place to go. Unfortunately for me, I did realize that I at one point misnumbered a video. So my numbers are all off, and I have to go all the way back and fix all this because it's going to bug the snot out of me if I don't. So tonight really isn't episode 77 of A Flawed Man's Take on the Bible. It's actually, I think, 78. I believe it's actually 78. We'll get that fixed eventually. Ugh. So, but if you guys want to go through and look and rehash the old books in order, there they are: Genesis, the whole Pentateuch, Genesis and to Deuteronomy. There you go. All right. That said, now we're in Joshua. I use Bible Gateway. This is just a reminder. I use Bible Gateway. I think it is a great hang on a second. I shared my screen. Shared the whole tab instead of the. So y'all could tell I was watching Grimm on Amazon Prime, and I had the Nick Rekieta Amber Heard video that recently got blocked by NBC. Those were on the window instead of the Brave tab. Let's try this again with less distractions. There we go. Anyway, Bible Gateway. Bible Gateway is a great website. Pretty good app too. It doesn't move super clean. The app has some hiccups in it. But as far as Bible apps are concerned, it's the best. And as far as Bible websites are concerned, for just having biblical text, this one's the best. You can find all sorts of translations. That's why I use it. It's always great. It's easy to use, and it's got resources if you decide you want some. And obviously the annotations below, which we don't have any right there, but they're there. So we're going to start with Joshua right now. Joshua 1, Joshua installed as leader. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all of these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. I'll almost wait for God to say, against my better judgment, which is where we feel like we're at right now. I need to catch up on some chats. First task is to strip the bus and do spray foam insulation, walls, floors, ceiling. We live in Wisconsin, so we'll need the warmth. Amen to that. Don't worry about how many views you get. It will all come in time. Believe in yourself and your content. Look, I don't care to a degree. I mean, I'd love for the goal is to get it as big as it should be, right? But right now, like I said, if I get the chat coming on and this is more like a small group feel, I'm fine with it. I like giving it. Look, and it is very definitely picked up my excitement when it's been more than me and Lauren and Fig in the chat day in and day out. And sometimes Fig would be there and sometimes Lauren would be there. It was just a lot of times it was me talking to myself, it felt like. And now, look, got an everyday presence. People are tuning in. I enjoy that. So no, I'm not worried about it. It would be nice. It would be nice. And thank you, Weeb. Thank you for the encouragement. Nico said, you already made a playlist. Yes. Cat's breaking into the door. Must have heard me talking about Nico. Wild Weeb, I was listening to Amber Heard stream at work, and all of a sudden, like with hours of poof, I was kind of upset. Yeah, I tuned in for the first hour, and then I was like, I'm going to bed. I can't even participate in the chat. It just goes too fast for me. And then when I woke up, I started to go to work. I went to work and I went to go click it, and it said, this is unavailable. And so I sent him a message being like, hey, you probably already know this, and I didn't know that he actually knew about it happening during stream, because I finally got a brain and started watching it on Rumble. So I think I cut God off in here. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written on it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Boom. I like that. And this is the part I like. Do not turn. This is not the first time this has been said. Obey all the law my servant Moses gave to you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left. And I think what we can take away from that today is on the political side, right? The truth is the truth. It exists. Boop. Lord is the truth. God is the truth. Christ is the truth. Spirit is the truth. Boop. Right there. And then don't let your political ideology split you away from that just because just for whatever reason. Don't let it take you away from that. And what it does here to the right or to the left, don't be so extreme, overzealous in things that you that you end up breaking the law because you missed the point, as I think is what we see with the Pharisees. And don't be so lax about the law that you forget about it entirely, which is, there we go. Brian Starowski, my boy Brian, go Cardinals, go Reds, and you can shut your mouth about the Cards. The Cards suck. Card fans terrible, and they're awful people. But I know you hate the Dodgers, and the Reds are playing the Dodgers right now, so I know you're secretly rooting for the Reds because you're not worried about the Reds doing anything this year, and you always like seeing the Dodgers lose. Sometimes I super chat Nick. This is Nico with this profile pic. Gave him a chuckle last time. Good. MR's in the chat. Welcome, MR. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So Joshua ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. But look, Moses is gone. I'm in charge. We're going to get moving. And we're not settling around here for a couple of weeks and hanging out and mourning and everything. No, we've done what we're supposed to do. Now we have something. Now God has instructed me to move. We're going to be moving. Get your stuff together. We're getting across this Jordan River. But to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember the command that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you after he said, the Lord your God will give you rest by giving you this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock may stay in the land that Moses gave you east of the Jordan, but all your fighting men ready for battle must cross over ahead of your fellow Israelites. You are to help them until the Lord gives them rest, and he has done for you. And until they have, let me restart this. You are to help them until the Lord gives them rest as he has done for you, and until they too have taken possession of the land the Lord your God is giving them. After that, you may go back and occupy your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you east of the Jordan towards the sunrise. So there we go. Bringing them on board, just let them know. We're all going, except for you guys. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Y'all can go ahead and settle that land. But remember, you leave your women and children and livestock here. The men, you're coming with us while we conquer this land. Once everything's settled and everybody's settled at that point, boop, you can go back. You can go back and join them. And that's what he's talking about. And I like to reiterate on this point. Reubenites, Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh. They asked God, they made a reasonable request of God. This is what we think about during prayer, making reasonable requests of God. And you think that, man, there's no way that God cares about what I want because there's so many requests and my request is so petty. Look, if you've got something to ask for it. Look, he's not gonna roast you. He's not gonna roast you over asking. He could say no. You might not get the answer you want, but he's not going to roast you over it. So might as well ask. You might learn something in the long run by praying for something and not getting it. It's happened for me. Then they answered Joshua, "Whatever you have commanded us, we will do." Huh, thank you, Israel. "And wherever you send us, we will go, just as we fully obeyed Moses. Just as we fully obeyed Moses, so we will obey you." If I'm Joshua, I'm immediately um anxious because I don't like that. "Only may the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your word and does not obey it, whatever you may command them will be put to death. Only be strong and courageous." Yay! Yay, Israelites. Oh no, you said you're going to obey Moses. Or obey Joshua just like you obeyed Moses. And God is with you. Yeah, God's with just Joshua. God's with the Israelites. Are you with God? Joshua is. We know that. Israelites. Buh. Brian says, "Yeah, they can beat the Dodgers. I feel bad for the Reds." I know you do. And you're always welcome here, MR. All right, chapter 2, Rahab and the spies. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim or Shittim. "Go, look over the land," he said, "especially Jericho." So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. You just found look, you go into this land and immediately you just happen to go into this prostitute's house. I'm sure it was for science and observation. This is kind of a joke. The king of Jericho was told, "Look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land." So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab: "Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land." But the women had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them." They went that way. But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road that leads to the fords of the Jordan. And as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Good move. Look, prostitutes back then were made out of stronger stuff, apparently. At least this one was. Because she decided she's going to help them for whatever reason. What is the I'd love to do more on the background of Rahab, because because her genealogy actually comes very much into play in Christianity. Um and what we do here is, or what happens here is important, because we're talking about the first steps into the promised land, and Jericho is the big fortress, right? So the king hears about it because probably got his own spies. People saw like a couple of foreigners going to a prostitute's house, because everybody knows who the prostitute is. everybody knows who the prostitute is. So they go in there. Word gets to the king. King sends that, "Get out, tell me what is going on, and bring those 2 dudes with you." And she says, I I don't know where they are anymore. They came, they did their thing, they paid for it, and they left. Maybe. We don't know what actually happened. I'm sure they had a perfectly valid reason for going to a prostitute's house. Before the spies laid down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you." Word travels fast. "We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below." All right. Rahab's being very pragmatic about this. Look, your reputation precedes you. You did great harm to the Egyptian military. God did a very great wonder to allow that basically affected all that to happen. Oh, and you beat the crap out of the Amorites just on the other side of this river. So we've heard of you and we're very scared. Even though we've lived in this fortress city, we're nervous. We're nervous about a siege. Nobody wants to go through this. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death. Our lives for your lives, the men assured her. If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land. Because what is Rahab doing? She's serving the Lord. She's serving the Lord. Now, she might be doing this just to save her own skin, but maybe there's a hint of righteousness in there. So she let them down by a rope through the window, for the house she lived in was part of the city wall. She said to them, go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there 3 days until they return, and then go on your way. Now the men had said to her, this oath you made us swear will not be binding on us unless, when we enter the land, you have tied the scarlet cord on the window through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers, and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside your house into the street, their blood will be on their own heads, and we will not be responsible. As for those who are in the house with you, their blood will be on our head if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell what we are doing, we will be released from the oath you made us swear. Agreed, she replied. Let it be as you say. Yeah, look, Rahab is showing remarkable intellect here compared to what many of the Israelites would do, which would just be to panic. But she said, look, all right, I'm going to listen to what you said. You've given me this oath. I'm going to obey it. I'm going to go out, and anybody who's willing, who's part of my family, bring them in. And it's a very good plan. Look, keep them in this little safe zone, this no-fly zone, and they're going to be safe. But if they're outside when we attack the city, they're probably going to die, because that's what God has said. When they left, they went into the hills and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then the 2 men started back. They went down out of the hills, forded the river, and came to Joshua, son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, the Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us. Thank you to Rahab, the prostitute, and spy. Effective spy, for that matter. All right, porcupine. The preparedness of the Bible speaks of. The preparedness of the Bible. I'm going to get this right. The preparedness of the Bible really speaks. The preparedness the Bible speaks of really gives me pause to today's strife. Through Christ, I prepare my family for hardship, discipleship, and God's direction. I'm nervous, though. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. Typing is tough. Typing is tough. Reading is fundamental, and I just ain't got it down yet. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous, especially when your family is involved with things, and especially when it involves the future, because the future is unknown. And right now, the future is up in the air. Christ can come at any time. And to me, when we're starting to argue over how many genders there are, it starts to feel like it's getting a little bit closer to time that Jesus needs to show up and just, put an end to all this tomfoolery. And a lot of tomfoolery is going on right now. But we're in it for the long haul. This time on earth is short, right? Relatively. It seems like an eternity for us. But so did turning when you were 10 years old, getting to the age where you were 10, getting to the age where you could drive, all felt like an eternity. Every day seemed like forever. Now, me looking back at almost, I'm months away from 40, and I'm looking back going, man, that time went by in a flash. Where did all that time go? Look at the time that I have. I wish I had. It felt that long from when my son was born or when I got married. That time felt like it seemed like time was agonizingly slow when I was young. Now it feels like every day is fleeting. Every day is fleeting. Whew. Days are long. Somebody told me this. Days are long. months and years are fast. So that's just what it is. But going back to the original point we were talking about, what you do, what your mentality is correct. Prepare for hardship, discipleship, and God's direction. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be uneasy. Anxiety is a thing. People feel it all the time, but faith in the Lord. Faith in the Lord that whatever trials and tribulation you and your family go through, God is still there with you at the end. Whatever end you meet it with God on your lips and a smile on your face if you can, because you know you're going to be going to a better place because God wants you there. I want you there. Any righteous Christian wants people there, wants God to be as forgiving as possible because we need him to be as forgiving as possible in order to forgive us. So that's the thing tonight. And we ran kind of early tonight. We haven't really gotten into things yet. What we're seeing with Joshua is basically the beginning. The beginning. And that's what where the narrative goes. Oh, I missed Nico's comment. It went from 0 to 100 sinfulness so fast. Lamau. Yeah, it did. Woo. It does. It's going. That's how the Israelites are. They go from completely justified to sinful in what seems like a flash. What seems like a flash. But we'll see. The men are look. The Israelites seem pretty stoked now. They're getting ready to go into the promised land. This is something that they've been searching for 40 years. That's really their own fault that they did that, but you know, it was mostly the mistakes of their ancestors, so they're probably over there, most of that time going, these boomers really cursed us into wandering in the wilderness for years, but now they're here. Now they're here, and they're ready to fight for it, and they're ready to follow Joshua, and they say they're going to be faithful. It's easy now. It's easy now when you got something to fight for, or you've got a goal to achieve. It's very tangible. It's right there in front of you, and it's very enticing. We know if God's going to fulfill his promise because he said he would. So what happens when he fulfills his promise? That's when it's tough for us. As I said, we can bag on the Israelites a lot, and it's not anything that they don't deserve. But we can be just as bad. We can be just as bad. And that's included for any time that we are chastising somebody. We need to remember where our own faults are. Just something to keep in mind, especially since I was taking pot shots at Rick Warren yesterday. So that said, not sure what's on the agenda tomorrow. We might be continuing Joshua. We might not be. We might do something else. I've been trying to get some guests lined up, and need to make it happen. Need to get a little bit more organized about it, but I've got a lot on my plate for work, so it's getting in the way of things. So in the meantime, everybody, thank you. Porcupine, Nico, MR, Brian, Wild Weeb. Who else has been here today in the chat? I think it's mostly just been y'all for the most part. If I scroll past somebody, I'm sorry, but anyway, for you guys in the chat, for anybody watching, thank you for giving me your attention. Thank you for giving me your words. If you're in the chat, if you like this, don't forget, like the episode, subscribe to the channel, share it to people you think would be interested in it. Promote it where you can. I certainly do myself. If you think this is a channel worth growing. So you guys, in the meantime, be safe, be good. Good night, and God bless.